You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Wednesday, May the 27th, 2020. The Orioles and White Sox played each other. The Orioles got all 7 of their runs in the first 3 innings, and they won by a score of 7-3. They got 7 runs on 7 hits. They committed an error. The White Sox had 7 hits and committed 1 error, but they only scored 3 runs, one of which was in the 9th inning, and they failed to win this game. John Means got the win, and Lucas Giolito got the loss. The Royals and Red Sox played each other. This is a battle of 2 teams toward the bottom of their respective divisions, but the Red Sox were able to come out with a win, 7-4 the final score of this game. The Red Sox really pulled this game away with a 4-run 5th inning that gave them their 7th run, and the Royals could not come back. Nathan Eovaldi got the win, Danny Duffy got the loss, and Brandon Workman now has 15 saves on the season. The Twins and Yankees played each other, and the Twins carried this ball game away early. 10-2 the final score. Garrett Cole gave up 7 earned runs in his start. He got the losing decision. Jose Berrios, he struck out 10 Yankees hitters, and he got the win. The Cleveland Indians played the Los Angeles Angels. Final score of this game, 2-1. A very low-scoring game. The Indians got both of their runs in the first inning, and those runs held up. The Angels could only score a run in the 8th inning, and they lost. Carlos Carrasco got the win. Tyler Glasnow got the loss, and Brad Hand now has 21 saves on the year. The Mariners and Tigers played each other. 4-1 the final score of this game. Yusei Kikuchi got the win, Ronnie Garcia got the loss, and Matt McGill earned his 16th save of the season. Each of these teams had 7 hits, but the Mariners were able to pull out the win with more runs. The Blue Jays and Rays played each other. This is an AL East game, a well-pitched game at that. 2-1 the final score. Trevor Richards got the win, Hyunjin Ryu got the loss, and Nick Anderson earned his 17th save of the season. Interleague play here between the Nationals and the Rangers, 5-4 the final score of this game. It took 10 innings for this game to finish out, but the Nationals tacked on that run in the 10th inning, and they were able to win by a run despite the team committing 3 errors throughout the ballgame. Ronny Celius got the win, Jose Leclerc got the loss. He blew the save in this one, and Sean Doolittle earned his 18th save of the season. AL West baseball here. The Athletics and Astros played each other. This game looked close, but it did not seem that way when the game began. Jesus Luzardo gave up 5 earned runs in the first inning, and those 5 runs held up throughout the game. The Athletics were only able to score 4 runs in the 5th inning, but it wasn't enough to overcome the 5 runs that the Astros had already scored. They failed to score in any other inning and ended up losing the game. Zach Greinke got the win, Jesus Luzardo got the loss, and Roberto Ozuna earned his 17th save of the season. The Cardinals and Braves played each other. This hefty offensive game. The Cardinals had the lead throughout the majority of this game. They had 11 runs going in to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Braves only had 2 runs, and the Braves put up 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning, but those 2 4-run innings at the end of the game really helped the Cardinals secure this win and prevent a Braves comeback. Dakota Hudson got the win, and Cole Hamels got the loss. The Pirates and Reds played each other. This is an NL Central game. 8-5 was the final score, despite the Reds getting 10 hits, more than the Pirates did. The Pirates scored 3 more runs than the Reds did. Michael Feliz got the win, Matt Bowman got the loss, and Keone Kela earned his 12th save of the season. The Marlins and Cubs played each other. 8-5 the final score of this game. Yimi Garcia got the win, Kyle Ryan got the loss, and Brandon Kinsler earned his 14th save of the season. NL East baseball, the Mets and Phillies played each other. 5-1 was the final score of this game. The Mets scored throughout many innings in this game, and the Phillies could only muster 1 run in the bottom of the 4th. Marcus Stroman still undefeated. He has 6 wins now on the year, and Vince Velasquez now 3-5 after losing this game. The Giants and Brewers played each other. This game took 14 innings to complete, but the Brewers were able to walk it off in the bottom of the 14th inning. 5-4 the final score. David Phelps got the winning decision out of the bullpen for the Brewers. The Dodgers and Rockies played each other. This is an NL West game. 10-4 the final score. The Dodgers pulled the game away after scoring 3 runs in the 7th and the 8th innings. Joe Kelly got the win, and Scott Ober got the loss. And more NL West baseball here. The Padres had a comeback win against the Diamondbacks, 9-8 the final score of this game. Archie Bradley came in with an opportunity to save the game, and he failed to do so. The Padres came all the way back and were able to walk it off with the win. The Diamondbacks got 14 hits in this game. The Padres just got 7, but it was a big inning for them in the bottom of the 9th inning, a crucial inning that allowed them to win the ball game. Luis Perdomo got the win, and Archie Bradley blew the save and got the losing decision in this one. Let's look at standings now, starting in the American League East. The New York Yankees are 33-23. They still lead this division, though they lost to the Twins today. The Rays and Orioles won their respective ball games today, and they move a game up now. They're 5 games back of the Yankees now. The Rays 29-29, the Orioles 28-28. The Blue Jays lost their game today. They're 27-29. They stay at 6 games back of the division lead. And the Red Sox are 26-31. They won today, so they move up a game. They're 7.5 games back of the Yankees, and they've won 2 in a row. In the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins have sole possession of first place now. They're 38-18. The White Sox lost today. They're 37-19. They're a game back now of the Twins. The Indians are 31-26. They're 7.5 games back. They won 3 games in a row. The Tigers are 21-34. They lost today. They're 16.5 games back. And the Royals are 17-39. They lost today. They've lost 2 in a row now, and they're 21 games back of the Twins for first place. And in the American League West, the Oakland Athletics lost to the Houston Astros today, but the Athletics are still in first place. The Astros, however, gain a game on the Athletics. The Astros are now 3.5 games back of the Athletics for first place. The Angels are 25-30. They've lost 3 games in a row now. They're still in third place, but they're 9 games back of the division. The Mariners are 23-34. They're 12 games back. They won today, and the Rangers have lost 3 games in a row. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games, and they're 22-33 now, 12 games back of the Athletics, and they're in last place. In the National League East, the Washington Nationals are 31-23. They lead this division. The Phillies are a game back. 30-24 is their record. The Marlins are 29-27 after winning today. They're 3 games back. The Braves are 28-29. They're 4.5 games back. And the Mets are 26-29. They won today. They're 5.5 games back of the Nationals for first place. In the National League Central, the St. Louis Cardinals still lead. They won today for their 30th win of the season. They're 30-27. The Brewers are 27-29, as are the Cubs. They're both tied for second place, 2.5 games back of the Cardinals. The Reds are on an 8-game losing streak. They're 23-32. They're 6 games back of the Cardinals. And the Pirates have won 3 games in a row. They're 21-34. They're 8 games back of the Cardinals for first place. And in the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers are 36-18. They still lead this division. They're on a 5-game winning streak. The Padres came back and won an extra innings against the Diamondbacks today, so they won. They're 33-23. They're 4 games back of the Dodgers for first place. The Diamondbacks are 28-27. They lost to the Padres today. They're 8.5 games back now of the NL West lead. The Rockies are 22-32. They're 14 games back. They're on a 3-game losing streak, as are the Giants. They're 22-33. They're just a half game back of the Rockies, and they're 14.5 games back of the Dodgers for first place. Looking at league leaders now, starting with batting average leaders in the American League. Miguel Cabrera batting .364. He leads the entire AL. Carlos Santana second best with a .358 average, and Michael Brantley rounds out the top 3 with a .353 average. In the National League, David Dahl batting .371. He's still the leader. It's not even close. Ronald Acuna Jr. second best with a .348 average. And Dansby Swanson, top 3. He's at a .344 batting average. Hits leaders in the American League. Jose Abreu and Miguel Andujar tied with 79. DJ LeMahieu rounds out the top 3 with 78. In the National League, Jonathan Villar's at 81. Ronald Acuna Jr. 9 behind him with 72. And Paul Goldschmidt rounds out the top 3 with 70. At bat leaders in the American League, DJ LeMahieu 1 in front of Miguel Andujar. LeMahieu has 234 at-bats this season. In the National League, Jonathan Villar's at 237. He is the at-bats leader in the NL. Doubles leaders in the American League, Anthony Rendon and Jose Abreu tied for the league best with 22, and Miguel Andujar third best with 20. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 26, Christian Yelich second best with 21. Ketel Marte, Brandon Crawford, and Trey Turner tied for third best with 18. Triples leaders in the American League, Jose Altuve has 5, Nico Goodrum, Adalberto Mondesi, Miles Straw, Steven Piscotty, Oscar Mercado, and Whit Merrifield all tied for second best with 3. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 7 triples. Victor Robles, Chris Bryant, and Hunter Pence tied for second best with 5. Home runs leaders in the American League. Josh Donaldson still at 21, and he's still at the top. Chris Davis trails him by 1. He's at 20. And then Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Austin Meadows tied for third best with 19. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. still leads. He's at 22 home runs. Max Muncy and Paul Goldschmidt tied for second best with 16. RBI leaders in the American League, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. close to 60, he's at 59. Austin Meadows second best with 53, and Josh Donaldson third best with 52. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has 48, Christian Yelich is at 42, and Cody Bellinger rounds out the top 3 with 41. Runs scored leaders in the American League, Rafael Devers and Yohan Moncada tied for the league best with 44. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads with 49 runs scored this season. Stolen base leaders in the American League, D. Gordon at the top with 13, Mike Trout, Adalberto Mondesi, and Malik Smith tied for second best with 11. In the National League, Starling Marte, a healthy lead, 22 stolen bases, leads the NL and leads all of baseball. Trey Turner second best with 15, and Jonathan Villar rounds out the top three with 14. Walks leaders in the American League, Alex Bregman is at 37. He's the AL leader. The NL leader is Rhys Hoskins, who's at 39. On-base percentage leaders in the American League, Miguel Cabrera is at 438, Mike Trout 433, and Alex Bregman's at 432. In the National League, Dansby Swanson's at 447, Paul Goldschmidt second best with a 435, and Ronald Acuna Jr. third best with a 429. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson's at a 698, Chris Davis 683, and Austin Meadows third best with a 663. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is at a 763, Christian Yelich second best with a 659, and Paul Goldschmidt rounds out the top three with a 652. On-base percentage plus slugging percentage leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson the leader with a 1.107. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. the leader with a 1.192. And looking at pitcher statistics now, starting with wins leaders in the American League, there's a large amount of players with 6 wins. You see that whole list tied for second best. Kenta Maeda is at the top, though. Member of the Twins, has 7 wins on the year. In the National League, there's a long list of players with 6, but there's one pitcher who has 8, and that's Walker Buehler. He's the league leader. Losses leaders in the American League, these are pitchers who have yet to be defeated. Mike Minor, Chris Bassett, and Kenta Maeda. Top 3, they all are undefeated on the year. In the National League, Marcus Stroman, the only pitcher who does not have a loss. He just met the league leader requirement. He had been on the injured list, so he wasn't up to the amount of innings that allowed him to be a league leader qualifier, but now that he qualifies, he is the last pitcher in the NL who is undefeated on the year. Caleb Smith, Sonny Gray, and Walker Buehler tied for second best with 1 loss. Saves leaders in the American League, Brad Hand has 21, Liam Hendricks is at 20, and Michael Givens third best with 18. In the National League, Giovanni Gallego is still the MLB leader with 22, Kirby Yates second best with 19, and Sean Doolittle and Kenley Jansen third best with 18. ERA leaders in the American League, Jordan Zimmerman has a 2.15 ERA that leads, Zach Plesac 2.50, and Eric Swanson's at a 2.53. In the National League, Walker Buehler's at a 1.49, Marcus Stroman's at a 1.62, and Mike Soroka's at a 1.89. They round out the top 3. Home runs are allowed among American League pitchers. Gio Gonzalez and Mike Minor have each allowed 4 home runs. In the National League, Marcus Stroman and Garrett Richards tied for the league best with 2. Shutout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka still at the top of this list. They're the only American League pitchers that have thrown 2 shutouts this season. In the National League, Jacob deGrom's at 3, Zach Wheeler and Walker Buehler are still at 2. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole passed 100 in his start against the Twins today. He's at 102, the first pitcher in all of baseball to reach 100 strikeouts this season. Lucas Giolito second best with 90, Carlos Carrasco rounds out the top 3 with 88, and it's not close going down. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw's at 89, Robbie Ray and Steven Strasburg tied for second best with 87. Complete games thrown among American League pitchers, Garrett Cole's at 2, as is Masahiro Tanaka. They're still at the top of this list. Zach Wheeler and Jacob deGrom, the only pitchers to throw 3 complete games in all of baseball. Aaron Nola and Walker Buehler tied for third best in the NL with 2 complete games thrown this year. Innings pitched leaders, Hyunjin Ryu's at 79 and 2/3 innings, he leads. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw's at 77 innings pitched, and he leads. Walks allowed leaders in the American League, Carlos Carrasco's allowed 10, that leads the American League. In the National League, Marcus Stroman, Brett Anderson, and Madison Bumgarner are the leaders, who have allowed 15 walks on the year. Whip leaders in the American League, Jake Odorizzi's at a 1.01, as is Dylan Bundy, Masahiro Tanaka, and Carlos Carrasco, 3 and 4 on this list with a 103 whip. In the National League, Marcus Stroman's below 1. He's at a .92. He's the leader now. Jacob deGrom second best with a .99. Pitching war among American leaguers, Carlos Carrasco's at a 2, as is Shane Bieber. Garrett Cole and Eduardo Rodriguez are 3 and 4 with a 1.7 WAR. In the National League, Jacob deGrom's at a 2.5. Yu Darvish is at a 2.1, and Robbie Ray rounds out the top 3 with a 1.9. Batting war leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson continues to go up. He's at a 3.6, as is Marcus Semien. They're the top 2, and Alex Bregman, third best with a 3.5. And in the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr., 4.6. He's still going up. Christian Yelich, a full point behind him. He's at 3.6, good for second best. And Wilson Contreras is coming to the top 3. He's at a 3.2 now, and he rounds out the top 3 in the National League. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Wednesday, May the 27th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.